Nation. What's up, everybody? Thank everybody for tuning in to this thing. As you all know, that Cowboys out of the playoff, the Eagles are out of the playoff, and now one thing that I can say from here that they can stop saying that the NFC East is the NFC least. We both got down into the playoff, made it to the divisional round, got our ass kicked, basically. But one thing that I can say right here, Eagles fans. Oh, Eagles fans, Eagles fan. Y'all can eat some humble pie now. It tastes good because hey, we had our humble pie yesterday, and now I can say this right now that humble pie is going to bring back things back to reality. I mean, I'm talking about I got so much I got so much hate mail for one from the Eagles. I got so many memes from the Eagles. So many people in my inboxes. But that humble pie, baby, I know it's not sweet, right? So, hey, karma is something too. I think that they get off their high horses now and feel the wrath of the media. But this is the thing: the topics of the hour would not be on the Eagles, or it'd still be the Cowboys. You guys already know how that feels. And but to have the game right at your grasp, Eagles Nation, right? To have that game right at your fingertips, and for Alshon Jefferson or Jeffries, however you want to call his name, to drop it, drop the ball. Now you guys gonna have the same karma. I had so many Eagles fans say, "Dez drop it, Dez drop it." But guess what? Now Alshon, that's gonna be the meme for following years, and you guys gonna feel the wrath of the karma. And this is just not me trying to rain down your parade, but got to go back to the drawing board. Got to go back to the drawing board. So looking back and looking at the Saints, damn, we should have played the Saints, boy. But it's one of those things, like I said before, when you play a team, a dome team, man, everything is a whole lot faster. I mean, everything is about getting things going back to the right direction, man. But appreciate everybody for tuning in to the nation. Hey, they're gonna have to eat some humble pie, of course, and it's one of those things where it's now we got to look at the Saints versus the LA Rams. Who do you guys feel like you want to represent the NFC? I think that, to me personally, I told everybody before that everybody was saying Tom Brady is trash, Tom Brady is this, the Patriots are horrible, they're a shell of themselves, and I've told everybody when the Patriots get to the playoff, they are a different team. That coaching staff got everybody revved up. That coaching staff got everybody ready, right? They just do. So out of the AFC, I love for my guy, Kansas City Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Texas native kid, to make it out of there. But I just don't see the Tom Brady's of the world laying an egg. I just don't see it. I could be wrong, but to me, this is all built up for it to be just like this. Patriots, Saints. It's just meant to be. The Saints and the Patriots. Drew Brees, who they gonna quote unquote say is the next best thing since sliced bread, versus the Tom Brady, the GOAT, the best quarterback that God ever created and put out there into the universe. That's what people are saying. So I would love for the young team to get there. You guys shout out to the Chiefs, but I just don't see them beating the Patriots. And now Cowboys Nation, Eagle Nation, we got front row seats. We got front freaking row seats for this Super Bowl. And we're going to have to represent NFC East. We've been holding it down for like 5,000 pounds. It's crazy, man. Rams and Chiefs. What's up, man? Shout out to you, James. Shout out to you, man. Breeze and the Texas boy. Yeah. Austin. Yeah. Ain't Drew Brees from Austin, Texans. David Alexander the Great, man. What's up, man? Eagles took a big bite, man. They did. They was talking so much cash money, though. I can't make this stuff up. They was talking like, look, Nick Foles is Moses out there, for crying out loud, you know. And it happened. ram too well. The Rams going to scheme it out. I don't think that the Rams going to go on the road down there in that Superdome, and they're going to be able to shut down Drew Brees. I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. They should have had home field throughout the playoff, but they laid the egg towards the latter part of the season there, and they might come back to bite them. So, I mean, the motivational factor of what the coach did for the Saints, everything. They're gonna be revved up. Trust me, they're gonna be revved up next game. Drip says fire Linehan. You know, I get a lot of kickback and a lot of flack when I said fire Linehan. I had people for crying out loud saying that I'm not a true Cowboys fan because I said, hey, we should get rid of Linehan. Sometimes in life, when you reevaluate, when you look at everything, yes, the defense laid an egg. Yes, we can argue the fact about the offense of Dak Prescott and him taking so long to I guess build chemistry with the receivers and things like that, and Ezekiel Elliott. But if we don't get no extra playmakers out there, I just don't trust Scott Linehan. I just don't trust him. This is not me just pulling this out of the woodshed or me just pulling things out of the air and say, okay, all of a sudden, I just don't like Scott Linehan. I've been saying this almost ever since 2014. That's been a long time, fam. But I digress, man. Scott Linehan and we trust. You know, it is what it is, man. From this point, if you look at the Eagles, they're going to be contenders next year as well. They still got the same defensive front. They still got some defensive weaponry that we have to worry about. I don't know whether or not the Eagles going to keep Nick Foles. I don't know whether or not Carson Wentz is going to be their long-term decision too. So the Redskins, they are a sneaky team. Alex Smith got hurt towards the latter part of the year. So we just don't know how that's going to gel out. You know, the guy's kid, the running back, they picked up Foster. You know, I don't know when they're going to release him, but allow him to play. But I heard the lady dropped her charges. So we just never know how this thing is going to look, man. We just don't know, man. David Alexander Incognito, appreciate you, man. C. Jim Game, what's good, man? He have to go though. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do a self-inventory. Sometimes you got to sleep on the opposite side of the bed. Take a different route to work. Sometimes you got to do those things, right? They should get rid of Carson. This is from Drip. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles going to have to do what they got to do, right? Drafting. Guys, this is what I want. You guys to help me out on this. And I know you guys can help a brother out just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Let me know this right here. Who should the Cowboys draft in the second round? I heard people mention Dexter Lawrence. Shout out to the Lawrence. And some people were saying, hey, this Christian kid from Clemson. Let me know, man. Put that down in the comment box below of who we should be scouting. I'm going to try to do as much work as I can to find some players to take a look at. We may take a look at some of the undrafted, I guess not undrafted. I mean, those guys going to be out there. Free agent list. I'm going to take a look at those guys. We can't make the decisions. We can only hope, right? Cowboy Nation, we can only hope. Offensive line. The offensive line talk, Elite Rob, that's going to be a hard topic. Because let me just break that down. Real quick. I'm going to break it down real quick. For the Cowboys offensive line, you got Lyle Collins on the right tackle, right? You got Zach Martin, who is a staple piece of this offensive line. He's going to be there, right? Travis Frederick, I heard him like 2 weeks ago on 105.3 The Fan. He said to himself, and he was saying to the guys, hey, if they needed me for a series, I'm strong enough now to play at least 2 or 3 series. Okay, so that means around this time next year, or because a little bit before this time, he will be able to play, right? So you got Travis Frederick, you got Connor Williams. One can say this, right? One can say this right here. At least we know for sure that Connor Williams is going to be 1 pound heavier than he is right now. Off-season workout conditioning, he's going to be at least 1 pound heavier than he is right now, right? So he's going to be 1 pound heavier now. So we know for sure he's going to be a little bit better as a left guard next year. We just, as Cowboys Nation, we know with our eyes and with our evaluation, we're not getting paid the millions and millions of dollars. We just saw that, hey, the kid played tackle in college. The kid is a tackle, but switching over to a new league, the NFL's big boy, he just didn't have the weight. He had the feet, quick hip inside turn. Hey, but he just didn't have no power and size. So one can argue he's going to be at least, at minimum, 1 pound heavier than he is today, right? And then we know that the up and down with Tyron Smith, we know about that, right? We know about that. So with that being said, we're going to have to figure out how they're going to increase, I guess, the health aspect of this offensive line. I heard talk tracks that Cam Fleming's coming back for 1 more year. So we got that guy as the swing tackle. I don't know. If we draft somebody with the 2nd round, an offensive lineman, this defensive tackle, this defensive front, we need some help. We need some stability in that position. We need that. We do not need to get, I guess, out schemed again. We don't need that to happen. To me personally, we need to get a safety out there. And I'm not going to point fingers at the safety because I understand when you start pointing fingers out there, you get 3 pointed back at you. So I'm not going to do that. We're not going to have that talk right now. But we need to have some young safeties out there, somebody we can grow upon and see down the line. They can be an impact player, right? We need that. Cowboy Nation, I'm going to say this again. Do not take what I say as hate. Do not take what I say as I'm just being opinionated with no substance. What I'm saying is factual things or actual things, basically. We need help at safety. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but we need help at that spot. We need a backup quarterback. We need help at that spot. I hope a veteran quarterback can come out there. That's not me hating on Dak Prescott. I love his skill set, but we need some fire up under him. We need some type of insurance as a backup quarterback. We need that out there. And then on top of that, we just need a different change of philosophy with Scott Linehan. I'm just telling you guys from what I know. We can go back and go say this thing over and over again, hoping and wishing and praying and all this stuff and putting an anointment oil all over our body and saying, okay, he's going to turn it around this year. Okay, we're going to turn around that year. Sometimes you got to change and turn that roster around, right? As it relates to the coaching staff. It can happen. It can flat-foot happen. But I'm not here to bash Scott Linehan, but I'm just telling you guys from what I see and from what I know. All right, so we can go back from here. we already know this is my whole thought track on Scott Linehan. We know for sure that Jason Garrett is not going nowhere. We understand that. And we love Jason Garrett's message. We love his message out there. Finish the fight, he didn't say start the fight, but next year is going to be finish the fight again, or repeat and finish the fight. Repeat, finish the fight, revenge the fight, or something like that dealing with fight. I like that message. I like that temperament that he brings out there. I love it. And motivational speaker. I always say, hey, when the end comes for me, let it find me conquering in a new mountain, not sliding down on the old one type of talk. But in order to elevate this particular quarterback, if you want to keep this particular quarterback, in order to get him going in the right direction, you got to have a quarterback coach / coordinator that's familiar with his skill set. That's all I'm saying. Scott Linehan may be a hell of a good coach for a Matt Stafford, a Matt Ryan, a quarterback that throws the ball vertical down the field. Not saying that Dak Prescott can't do it, but he may be wonderful for a pocket quarterback. And somebody gonna argue and say, "Law, what are you saying? This guy had 32 wins in 3 years." Come on, man. These wins could be even more if you have a quarterback coach / quarterback offensive coordinator that can identify with Dak Prescott's strengths and minimize his weaknesses. Man, it's enough of this talking, man, about this stuff, boy. It gets me all off everywhere, but. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints for winning. Shout out to them for defeating the mighty Philadelphia Eagles, making them eat the humble pie that they deserve to eat. And for us to look back and reflect off of this year, this is not a bust year, neither for both teams. This is not me hating on the Eagles. You guys played a tremendous year. You guys came back from the woodworks. You was able to win one playoff game as well. And you guys competed. But now you're at home, just like we are. We played a wonderful year. And this is what I really want. This is the main message that I really want to tell everybody but Cowboy Nation with the silver and blue on. Not every year we are supposed to win the Super Bowl. But what we can look back at this year and say, okay, what can we do to elevate this team? What can we do to better this team? And I'm going to give you guys these little points right here that I'm thinking. First and foremost, I love Ezekiel Elliott. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish. I love him to death. But the kid can't win it all by himself. It's time to go to plan B. I mean, get a scat back out there to help the young running back out. Get some type of change of direction, change of pace running back that can help spell Ezekiel Elliott, who can keep the momentum going. And to me personally, I love Rod Smith, met him in person, cool, calm, collected guy. To me, Rod Smith deserved to be a starting running back on somebody's team, believe it or not. But Rod Smith is the type of running back that needs entire quarters in order to get his momentum going. I really think this is not Homer me talking. This is not Homer talking right here. Rod Smith can actually start for somebody. Give that guy 4 quarters and he would get you 100 yards. But to throw this guy in, I just don't think that, for one, the coaching staff knows how to utilize more than one running back like a Rod Smith. And for two, we saw Jameis Olawale, who's had the same temperament, same skill set, that the coaching staff really just used him as a glorified power lead blocker, who, quote unquote, we could have kept Keith Smith for that, who's, to me personally, is a better blocker. But I digress. He plays with a little bit more aggressive tone. Jameis Olawale can catch better out in the backfield. So that's the number one thing. Find Ezekiel Elliott a helpmate out there. Somebody who can come into the mix like a Kamara, like a Tariq Cohen, whatever that guy's named over there in Chicago. Find this guy a helpmate. And the second thing that we would need help with is some type of consistency along the defensive tackle, the front four. We need some help out there. I love Tyrone Crawford. I love Malik Collins. I actually love Antoine Barbecue Woods. I love those guys. But we need to have an extra set, an extra tome out there. Somebody that can help out things. Ain't this right, Jackie Smith? Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Also, thank you, my Cowboys family. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Chris Torres, yes, incognito. Tavon is still not 100%. That's what he's saying. But they still could have utilized Tavon a little bit more. They could have at least give him the ball on the end around, reverse sweep, something. Just toss him the ball, do something. But I agree, he may not have been 100%. And it is what it is at this point. And the third thing will be help us out on the back end of the secondary. We got to help. We need help on that. We need Wade Wilson, QB/OC, or Brad Johnson, QOC back. Oh, no. David, no. But I think some fresh set of eyes out there will help us out. If Jason Garrett is going to be the calling card, and if they're going to elevate Chris Richard to being the DC, because that's what Rob Marinelli said, he's willing to relinquish his power, relinquish his role in his defense, and allow Chris Richard to step it up. And I do know a lot of people saying that, okay, hey, wait a minute, it was a horrible game this past Saturday. I'm gonna ask you guys this, and I don't want to keep you guys long. I know it's a Sunday night. I know you guys want to get back with your family and things like that. I'm gonna ask you guys this right here. Have any one of you guys interviewed for a job before? Let me know. Just give me a thumbs up, or just tell me, yeah, I interviewed for a job before, right? And if you ever interviewed for a job before, and this is not me padding an excuse for Chris Richard, but there are things that come into play when you're interviewing for a job. First and foremost, your family members, the intangibles, the things that you just don't see. They're going to say, hey, did you get the job? Did they call you back? Did you do well on the interview? Oh, how did that go? Did you ask the right question? Did you rehearse? Did you go over what we talked about? Did you discuss? Did you look at this school district? Did you ask questions about the median of income in the area that you're looking for? All those things come into play. I'll never forget that when I was in Jackson, Mississippi, and I had to move to Dallas, I had thousands and thousands of questions to be asked upon me, and I had to deliver results. And to prepare myself for that particular interview, I couldn't just walk up in there and say, okay, I'm gonna be ready for this interview, because I really wanted to land that job. So I had to go and do research on myself. I had to do some extra inventory of myself. And I had to also talk to the Miss Lady and said, okay, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to do. And at the same time of me going over all of those things, guess what? The job that I was on at that time, I had to put them to the back burner. That 1 to 2 hours that I could have been increasing in that particular field, I had to put that to the side. That's life. I don't care. The competition committee or whatever it may be, they need to reevaluate the coaching, the assistant coaching, or whatever it may be. They need to reevaluate those particular deals and say, hell, this season is long anyway. Why they can't just do an interview after the Super Bowl? That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. So that would throw in some confusion. You don't think Chris Richard's wife was saying, hey, how did you do on the interview? Did you ask about the school district? Did you ask about the long-term commitment of the commitment? Did they say that they was going to pay for a relocation assistance? Did you hit the marker on what expectations you want, far as from a remuneration aspect? Those things were all asked upon this guy. And also you have to plan upon what the LA Rams are going to do. It is what it is at this point. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat box, man. I really appreciate you guys' time, your patience with me. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. It's draft season now, so let's get these top 15 players together. Let's see if we can figure out who should we draft, who should we take a deeper look at, and who should we take a deep dive at as it relates to free agency. Shout out to the Eagles for having a wonderful year. Shout out to my Cowboy Nation for having a wonderful year. You can't win them all. That's all I'm saying. So now the humble pie, you got a piece of it. We had 8 hours Saturday. You guys get the leftover for what we had from Saturday. Yes, we do need a return specialist, DJ Cop, somebody who can flip the field. I always love return specialists. I love that. Chronological assessment. David Alexander laying the law down. That's what I'm talking about. Chronological assessment. That weighs on your mind, man. That weighs on your mind, man. JD, appreciate it. I don't have the Wolves today. I just went live on the Google Hangout, but I really do appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's flat foot go. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Let's go. It's quite possible, right? It is still quite possible for next year. I'm still saying it's quite possible. Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace. If I had my music, I'd still be jamming on out, man. Appreciate you all. Uh-huh. All right. Here we go.